starting right off, one of the things that I felt was very important about Charlie is that he brought a bit of brevity to the situation. So, when you were reading the script and looking at it, what were some of your favorite characteristics of Charlie?
I appreciated that Charlie was just very much an open book. Like if Charlie was scared, he would say so. If Charlie was embarrassed, he'd say so. Even though like most people, if you're embarrassed, you don't say anything. Charlie's like, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed of myself. I thought that's such a great. I felt Charlie is like a superhuman in that like all the characteristics that make a person human, he has them like you know, to the 11th degree. So it was like really fun to get to play that sort of thing. And he's funny as well. Even if he doesn't mean to be funny, he's funny.
It was entertaining. So, the perfect timing of the release of this film with the CIA declassifying some files on UFOs and the premise on how the aliens got to Earth got me to thinking that maybe there could be something to that. So I wanted to know what were your thoughts on that?
Um, well, I certainly am not surprised by the fact that they're UFOs because there's no way there wouldn't be, right? To think that we as humans are like the only thing out there that's like smart and intelligent. So does like an ant before it sees a human for the first time. You're like, oh, wait a minute, my colony didn't tell me, So and the fact that we could have aliens walking around here right now, we don't know. We don't know. Probably, I'd say probably.
Anything's possible. So when you're filming a movie like this, where there's action and there's obviously sci-fi and incredible scenery, does it ever come together when you see the final product, how you envisioned in your mind when you're filming it?
Well, I try to not have too many expectations on what a final thing's going to look like. I can only just kind of like focus on what I hope to have done in the thing. So I'm always pleasantly surprised because I love to like see the movie and also view the movie with the eyes of like an audience member. But I also can't help but edit and like look at a movie as like I'm not a producer on this at all, but I can't help but like look at something with those like lenses because I've watched so many movies and I like write and and being an actor in like a few things, you kind of like learn the math of how things work. So I was overwhelmed and like taken by surprise when I saw this because I'm like, oh, this is actually like a full legitimate action movie. And I mean, like, because like it the whole time, of course, it's like cool. Cause I'm like on these huge sets and I'm like with Chris Pratt, like shooting guns and like running through the streets. I'm like, this is so much cool. But then like getting to see it, I'm like, this is an actual action movie, like a big time, like popcorn blockbuster summer hit movie.
So does it get you inspired as far as your producer and writer aspect of you as something maybe you'd want to do for yourself?
It does. It really does. I would like to, figure something out along those lines for myself, or and continue to like work in this space. I think it'd be really fun.
So last question in wrapping up. Part of the concept of the movie involves, jumping to the future. And without any details, would you want to know the details of your future if you could find out how you were going to die, things that were going to happen? Is that something that you would want to deal with, or would you just want to let things happen as they come?
I mean, I don't think so because like you you want to know until you know that it's like next week. You know what I mean? Because like I'd love to know, but only tell me if I live another 50 years. But then if you don't tell me anything, then I know I don't. And so like now I'm, so I'd probably rather not know so I don't live my life like in fear. And like because like also if that's what happens, then I can't change it. There's no changing it. So I'm just gonna like live my whole life like knowing this is the moment. I'd like to just not have any preconceived notions on how I live my life.